All right, we're doing one more from Ludicity. I will flip. By the way, you have to take this out. I will drop kick you if you use that spreadsheet. So, flip, do not keep it in. There are a few things that inspire deep revulsion in me. The episode of Star Trek Voyager I just watched was pretty gross. I definitely saw some pretty bad roadkill on my daily walks during the COVID lockdowns, but nothing comes close to the white-hot fury that radiates from me the moment someone suggests plugging a spreadsheet into some sort of automated process. I have a couple things. 1, I never watched Star Trek Voyager. 2, I have, in fact, suggested using a spreadsheet, and I'm not going to lie to you, there was a time that a very important part of Netflix unironically ran off of a spreadsheet. You know, I know everybody hates spreadsheets, and we should all agree to that. But literally levels FYI scale to millions of users with Google Sheets as a backend. Look at this update. While we're continuing to use Google Sheets throughout our operations, we now rely on a PostgreSDB. 2024, January 2024. Better or worse than JavaScript? Unsure. Okay, so before I just say that spreadsheets are horrible and should never be used, at Netflix, I forget exactly what we use it for. We used it for some sort of like categorization or something, that there's like a category that would show up in the television, and that category was from a pre-populated field that was found in a spreadsheet. So is it terrible? I can't say it's terrible. A sane engineer would come to you, palms upturned, arms wide, and preach the virtues of Excel in a conciliatory tone. It really empowers the non-technical staff, they would say. The democratization of data is an important element to modern workplace, and it is an incredible testament to Excel's flexibility that it has enabled so many people to leverage the power of computing. But that is a mere sane engineer, the first to die in the revolution. The Jacobin engineer. And when you have seen enough of what happens when you yield to this blatant cowardice, you move beyond mere sanity into righteous logic. So cold that it burns like fire. I tell you now, if you suggest that we put the spreadsheet anywhere near any process, no force on this planet will save you from me. But why not? Honestly, why not? I've done it. I've been a part of it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, spreadsheets near a process as a stopgap is beautiful. Okay, I know it's horrible and I know it's awful, but at the same time, it feels so good. Come on? Can we not agree to that at some level? That it feels good. Come on, don't lie to me. Do you want to do? Let's see. Get the idea out, then move to something scalable. Like if you have a small automation process that needs very little anything, do you really want to set up something to do with the database or just have a spreadsheet? I've done it and I love it. I'm just saying the temporary stopgap. Yeah, I know Squealite now has become Squealite, and it's just absolutely amazing libsqueal implementation and all that. Probably have made it so you don't need to do that at all anymore, but still. Just use Squealite at this time. Yeah, Squealite's great. Squealite is at this point. Squealite, I would use Squealite, but I used a lot of spreadsheet. I've spreadsheeted really hard, but why not? Listen, I'm sure it seems like a good idea right now. I'm sure it does. It always does. They're already used to filling out the spreadsheet. We can make sure the information without changing any processes. I'm deeply sympathetic, and I feel bad as a haymaker, or as I haymaker you through 10 cycles of reincarnation. I don't want to do this, but you forced my hand. That's pretty funny. I do like that. I do like this. I have seen $1 million analytics platform that is dynamically constructed from Excel spreadsheets. Do you think that was the intention of the damn thing was being assembled? Do you think any sane person would ever want to do that? No, of course not. One script got written that could parse a spreadsheet. The next thing you know, you're running a greedy search algorithm every sprint, and it never quite makes sense to spend the time removing them. Now you've got fucking 20, and I'm hunting you on that deserted island. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? You absolute son of a bitch! I know this goes in the face of this article. Spits into it. Haktua! Right in the face of this article, but I love scrappy projects. And I do mean that. Like when someone comes up to me and has solved a problem in a way that makes me go, I know it's not good long term, okay? I'm not saying it's great, but I just love it. I do. I love it. I love it. I can't help but to love it. And then when you get to the point where it actually is scaled out to the maximum, it feels so good because you get to see how far you can take an absurd concept to the end, to the logical end. And then you go, this is horrible. And then you move on and it's fantastic. Okay? I don't know what it is. I just love it. I actually just love it. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. TJ, what are you saying? Chat, does PrimeGen know that Hawk Tua does not refer to spitting in someone's face? Yeah, it means to spit on the article. I Hawk Tua on that article. Flip, take it out. Take it out, Flip. You don't have to live like this. I've gotten through my whole career without understanding how to use VLOOKUP. It's possible. I swear. Just put the spreadsheet down and we can work with databases. Do you remember databases and possibly happiness? I don't know. I derive so much happiness from doing something stupid. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Fuck VLOOKUP. Chat is unusually spicy today. The chat is just not happy with today. I love it. But I wrote this great VBA macro. Damn, you wrote a great VBA macro? You crazy. Did you write a roller coaster? Fuck you. Perfectly said. Honestly, I must agree with that one. Okay, a VBA macro, I agree with this statement. Well, actually, it's great that you've shown that initiative and learned that skill. And it shows that you have the ability to do this in a better way. I will support anything you decide to do as long as it isn't in that spreadsheet. I'll do anything. Anything. And if you don't take me up on that offer, I'll see you hang. I think he meant hung, but we pretty much got the idea. Do you know how absolutely out of control VBA can get? I worked at some nonprofit once that produced reports for the federal government by processing millions of medical records in one gigantic access script. Hey, Flip, can you do that one thing where you go like this? Bruh. Can you just do that for me just this one time? I know. And, I already know instead you're going to play this part and you're going to put some sort of, lol, didn't listen to him. You always ask for this, but this would be the point. This is the point to do it. You know what I mean? Bruh. You know what I mean? Bruh. By the way, this is par for healthcare. I know a lot of people are just so pumped up for government healthcare, but I do want you to know that your government healthcare is probably processed via an access script on MySQL Server 2003. I hate to tell you this. I'm getting chills. You should. It took 2 senior engineers months to even partially unravel the mess, and it was well written. Do you know how it happened? They got one thing done, and then they executed a greedy search algorithm and kept adding one more thing to the script. I love this. By the way, this is so good. I've taken scripts so far by being greedy. Greedy algorithms are so beautiful. But it stops here. You've left me no choice, and if I see a single line of VBA, you and I will forever be at war. What about SharePoint? Don't you even goddamn talk to me about SharePoint lists. Don't you dare. The goddamn access keys juggling when you want API access, the endless discussions with it's because no one knows how the... By the way, it's his ITs, because no one knows how the damn thing even works. Did you know that the names in the API response can't be changed after you've made the sheet, even if on the webpage you've renamed them? I will kill 10 sharks with my bare hands if it means I can draw even a drop of your blood. If you make me manually map unnamed column 1 to 50 to fields in a database again, then you have initiated violence against me, and the horror that ensues will be self-defense. That is actually kind of wild that once the thing has been made, you cannot rename anything in SharePoint. Fuck SharePoint. Dude, that's crazy. Crazy. I can't believe that he's gonna kill 10 sharks for their fins. Just to beat somebody up. Just to draw one drop of blood from somebody else. SharePoint is pure dog water. I've actually never used SharePoint. Fight me. You are so blessed. Yeah, thank you. I have used Microsoft Access, though. I've used Java's database connection to run against Microsoft Access, but I've never used SharePoint. Do you know why all these processes are run through SharePoint sites? Someone stored one thing, greedy search algorithm, you get it. By the way, this is pretty much every single reason why somebody says, why do we do this at this company? Well, see, we started doing it, and then that's it. Like, this is true. The greedy search algorithm is such facts of life that like anytime something is done one way, it virtually never changes at any company ever. It just is what it is, and that's okay. I'm not saying it's bad. What ends up happening is that it starts off as like not a bad idea, and then you just keep on layering on crap on top of it, and you keep on layering on crap on top of it, where the cost to refactor is just going up like the stock market. It's just turning out so terrible, and then at some point you just have to burn the whole thing down to the ground and move on. Right? It's a crap onion. It's literally a crap onion. This is how technical debt, and people think that this is just because people write bad code. I'm going to tell you something that's going to hurt everybody's feelings. This right here is every project ever, okay? Every last line of code you will ever write is one layer on a shit onion that slowly is being added. Okay? It's like the paper mache of shit onions. Sorry. That's programming. Paper mache, just with little thin slices of shit instead that you just paste onto this nice little Christmas ornament you're making. Annoyingly true, it is. But it's really only temporary. How fucking dumb do you think I am? It's always temporary. It's always just one time. Do you know how many times I've written a script that was really only run once? Never. It has never happened across my entire career. Every single thing I've ever written has been fucking welded into the soul of every organization I've ever worked at. They'll never get rid of any of it. My sins will echo for eternity, and I will be damned if I let anyone else get away with what I have. I will send you straight to hell and meet you there. To be completely fair, one of the last projects I worked on at Netflix was Reggie. One of those, not penultimate, the second to penultimate project, so the double penultimate was Reggie, which was a reliable pacer for video frames going through the real-time mechanism for playing on TV into a sync for, let's see, source. Wait, hold on. Sync. Yes. I forget. Is T sync or is S sync? I can't remember which one's supposed to be sync. Reggie from Rocket Power? No. Reggie, as in Reggie Miller. The most reliable pacer. You get it. I thought it was pretty good. And we made some decisions early on about how this video player should play. And so inside of Reggie is this entire ecosystem for oscillation, for perturbation, for dropping of frames, and all this stuff. And we never needed to make it that complicated. Yet we did. And it has all the ability to be that complicated. It just doesn't actually need to be that complicated. And so it creates this entire problem in the software that will literally never be rewritten. And Netflix will continue to be tested on this probably for the next 5 years. And it will just hang out forever in this crazy state. It's true. Decisions you make do last for a long time. That one quick hack that goes to become the foundation to the stack, yeah. What language was it written in? TypeScript. All right. Do you really, sincerely think you're only going to use it just once? Well, I'm sorry. All the goodwill in the universe around this particular topic has been used up, and instead of taking it out on me, I will hand you a longsword, and we can hunt down those responsible together. Even if you think you're going to replace this before starting any new work, you know who doesn't care? The stakeholder that's going to, as if psychic, flood our inbox with tickets tagged urgent every time we talk about decommissioning the spreadsheets. Microsoft pays them to keep Excel in circulation. They've struck a bargain with the devil and live an extra hour every time a person highlights cells to look for errors. Okay, fine. I don't know why they want to stop us, but they do. Devil, Microsoft. Devil, Microsoft. Devil, Microsoft. Devil, Microsoft. It's correct. It's right. It's beautiful. You know, to tell you the truth, a lot of the times when this happens, it's because I just don't want to. Okay, it's not that I have some super urgent task that needs to be dealt with. It's just that I have features that I find to be more enjoyable or better to work on, as opposed to refactor something I once made that was stupid. Then we're going to look at our tasks, see the stakeholders screaming at us, and we're going to execute a greeting search algorithm, keeping the spreadsheet around forever. It's like goddamn gravity. I don't have any other tools. Deeply sympathetic. Still have to kill you. I'm sorry. I really am. Don't do this out of hatred, but out of duty. Someone has to stop you, and I'm sorry that it's me. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting one. We've done some really stupid stuff. Like one time, Here's like a kind of a dumb way that we did something to get really fast play delay. Is that, local storage? One time I put a video in local storage just so the next time you come to Netflix, it plays really quickly. This may or may not have been used more than one time, despite the fact it was supposed to be for just one test. Just one little test. One tiny little test. Just a test if startup time really makes sense. I don't know. Okay, it was a good idea. It was a good idea at the time. How large are the videos? Oh, they're not that big. Not that big. They're a little tiny. A little tiny. They're nothing. This is some good cash. Yeah, if it was there. This is you are part of the problem moment. Yeah, nothing is more permanent than temporary. Nothing is more permanent than temporary storage. Okay, I want you to know that. Nothing is more more permanent than temporary storage. It has nothing to do with search results. Good idea at the time. Prime. Dude, it was a good idea. It was a good idea. Okay, it actually still is a great idea. How else? Okay, here. Inverse. Uno reverse. Uno reverse your ass. How else are you going to test if play delay actually has a meaningful impact on a user? I'm waiting. Anyways, you guys gave me nothing. Put it in the spreadsheet? I don't know. I don't work for Netflix. I don't test. Yeah, there you go. Anyways, I once worked with a database where the entire daily data extraction process for business consumption was a batch script that fired off a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet contained a list of other spreadsheets and some VBA, which looped through the list of other spreadsheets, copied them to a new folders to be used by staff, and those copied files then executed squeal against the database to have yesterday's data in them. That sounds pretty standard. Is that a join? Is that what we're doing here? Is that a spreadsheet join? I think it is. Think about how clever someone has to be. Hold on. Let me just double check. Okay, good. Think about how clever someone would have to be to construct a process when given only those tools. Think about how someone that clever could never have meant for it to stay this way. They had the best of intentions. Such a person is far smarter than I, and it is with deep regret that I am wringing the life from their mortal coil. In other words, of Rich Bueller, intentions matter only in absence of results, and then only for the blaming. It is true. Isn't it funny that this does happen right here? This weird thing happens, right? You see this. This is such a weird process of just life working as a dev, is that you come up with this really temporary idea like a spreadsheet. And then your spreadsheet, you realize you need a bit more dynamism. So you actually add spreadsheet to spreadsheet lookup. Now, like at this point, you would have to ask yourself, why are we just not using a database or some better storage thing? But because this small step forward is easier than the actual proper solution, you continue with this small iteration as opposed to a big iteration. And then it starts growing. It starts getting out of hand. And then you realize you need data from a database as it is. So therefore, you're actually making database calls based on spreadsheet joins. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, why have we not just done this? Like, wasn't this easier? Wasn't this just easier to go and do this properly? It's just a cron job and a Go script, right? Just a little bit of Go and a little bit of cron job can get you a long way. You know what the best part is this little script, if you really want to hack it together, find that one Harry Potter door, open it up, and put the server in here, which is just a MacBook. It's one of those weird circly MacBooks, Mac Pros, whatever they call them. You know that weird tower, whatever that thing was that you like put cords into? Just literally put that in a Harry Potter room. The trash can Mac. Yeah, the trash can Mac. Whatever that thing was. Throw that in a Harry Potter room and then just walk away. And let this thing run for years. Haven't you ever heard those stories? You know, I know you guys think I'm just kind of like memeing around and stuff. I kid you not. There is story after story of these tech companies that have this one computer sitting in some storage room that when they unplug it, a huge amount of their internal processes just come to a screeching halt. Because this one computer actually runs an enormous amount of their infrastructure. The Trash Can Mac. It's a real deal. The Trash Can Mac is a secret. It's the secret to every big tech company is there is one MacBook somewhere that is running the entirety of the company. Yes, I know everybody has this. Literally everybody has this. We had this at Netflix. You have this everywhere. No matter where you go, this is the true on-prem solution. We call ours Betty. On-prem. On-prem. When we sold our company, the VP of Ops pulled the plug on an old machine of ours. All our email sending died and shenanigans ensued. That's all it takes. All it takes is that one time. So DHH was right. DHH was right. DHH was right. Think about how clever someone would have to be to construct a process when given only those tools. We've already read this. All my colleagues use spreadsheets. I will come for them too. I have a friend in Southeast Asia who has exactly one job. He is paid a grotesque amount of money to automate Google Sheets for an e-commerce company. Do you think that was the original plan? Everyone at the company is incapable of working with anything else. And you know what? That isn't an excuse because you can learn. And if you cannot learn from Google, then you will learn when I yell, when I point, and when I beat you with my stick. It's true. If the carrot doesn't work, the stick usually does work. This is gatekeeping. I love this. This is like my favorite. This is gonna be my favorite section. I can already feel how much I love it. Yes. Yes, it is. I have put this gate here, and I'm keeping it for a reason. The last time I stopped keeping this gate, I wrote a Python script that took a spreadsheet as an input, ran regular expressions against it, against a data. I can't even read it. I can't even read it. I can't even read it. I can't read this. I can't even read this. This is so ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Before I go any further, let's just check out old regex here, regexlicensing.org. Let's just do a quick look here. Brief summary of typical disasters of regexes: parsing an email or IP address, replacing build time tokens, rolling your own string interpolation, validating a person's name, parsing a phone number, validating a street number, enforcing a zip code globally, searching in a database for something in a live query. Parsing a date or time. Basically almost anything outside of command line or ad hoc foo query. By the way, for those that don't know, this is regex license. Welcome to before you are allowed to use a regex in production, you need to get a regex license because you shouldn't be adding regular expressions to a code base without a license. And those who have licenses generally know it's a better idea not to use them. Ran a regular expression in it against a database, spat out 10 more spreadsheets, then used those to power a generic power by template, which had to have all 10 spreadsheet targets repointed by hand. This became one of the most requested services my team performed for several months. Should someone have fucking stopped me? And I must pay for my crimes by keeping this gate forever. I swear to you, there is nothing good past this gate. Turn away, turn away! I beg you, turn away. Beyond this lies not, but trying to work out why all the numbers are wrong, only to realize that Excel thought those IDs were integers and dropped all the leading zeros. This death is kindness. I really do feel like to really kind of really embody this mentality. He should have quoted Dante here. Abandon hope, all ye who enter. This is unreasonable. Do I seem like a reasonable person? Actually, yes, you do. This is why we're listening to you. What should I do instead? Anything. I'm begging you on my hands and knees, anything. Write a SQLite database on your local hard drive. Do some garbage in Python. Encode the data in binary using a series of pebbles on your front lawn. If necessary, I will personally call your manager and explain the problem. I will actually do this. It's easy, I swear. They are all definitely easier than being defenestrated, which is the only alternative I am offering. Please listen. You can email me. I'll help. I don't want to hurt anyone again. LudicityHackerNews@gmail. There. You've got that offer of professional help. Do you know why I'm being so generous with my time? It's so I can fucking dropkick the animals that don't take it with a clear conscience. I want to know more about this, like Pebble. This Pebble binary encoding business. How do I do that? How do I do this Pebble business? The name is I actually fully agree with this article, yet I will cross over that gate. I will abandon hope, all ye who enter. You know why? Because I genuinely love the scrappy nature of programming. I think it's so much fun. But I will just use Squealite. Squealite, I feel like, is a much better alternative. Plus, Squealite actually works all the way into production. Squealite can handle like 10 million people, easy peasy pumpkin seedsy. So like, just effing use that instead. Real talk, I think that is much better. Like, I wouldn't use spreadsheets now, but spreadsheets like 15 years ago was actually pretty fun, little idea. Okay, a Jen.